Alright, welcome back to my channel, and this is Salesforce Makes Sense, and we are in another video of our Apex curriculum series. This video will specifically talk about our second concept under OOPS, that is class variables and keywords. Alright, before jumping into our second concept, I talked about a small assignment in the last video, right? So let me show you creating these classes and let's see what our results are. So I'll create three classes. First one with global, second one with public, and third one with no modifier. So I'll just go ahead and say file, new, Apex class, available for all. This one should be global. So let me just define it with a global keyword. I'll save it. Am I able to save it? Perfect. Let me create the second Apex class, available for some. This should be public. It is available to some, it's okay. Available for some, and I'll just call it public. It was already public, so this is fine. All right, and the third class is called just available, and there should not be any modifier. So let's try to create our third Apex class, just available, and I'll not keep any modifier on the top. I'll just get rid of this public and just say save. Let me just try to save it again. So I was able to save the first and the second file, and I'm currently trying to save the third file, which is called just available, and there's no access modifier, right? Let me just get rid of this file once, and I'll try to open just available. Let's remove the public keyword from here and say save. So you see, I'm getting an error on the third file. And what's our error? The top level type must have public or global visibility, which means you cannot define a class if it is not public or not global, and you cannot keep it as a top level class. All right. And I hope you were able to save the first two classes, and the third class gave you the same error. All right. If it gave you the same error, it's fine. It's correct. It's how the system is working. It's not an issue at your end. All right, awesome. That was our quick assignment on access modifiers, and now we'll jump into class variables, our second concept. Now we have defined our class, right? Let me get rid of this classes. I know these are all dummy classes, but let's get rid of them on the console and let's create a new Apex class for variables and keywords. Let's get rid of this. Let's say new Apex class, variables and keywords. All right. Now, what are variables and what are keywords? Like, we have defined our class. Now, what is this class used for? It is used to solve a business function, right? It might have methods, it might have steps that you need to execute to deliver certain kind of value, correct? So what do you need for it? Remember, I talked about my pasta example in one of my videos. If you want to make pasta, right? If you want to make pasta, you would do a set of things to make it. Those are your instructions, step by step. These are basically part of your method. Okay, it's a future related concept. It's coming very soon in the upcoming videos, but just understand that there is a method to make pasta, and that's what we have defined literally, correct? So you'll have step by step instructions, but you need ingredients, right, to make pasta. So you need ingredients, and you also need to define, or let's leave it for now. You need ingredients. What are these ingredients? These are your variables. Okay, so you'll need, let's say, a whole wheat pasta, you'll need cheese, you'll need water, you'll need this, you'll need that. Those are your variables. Variables, when variables are basically used in your steps in a sequence manner to execute a method. All right, so we'll specifically talk about class variables. What are class variables? Class variables are the variables defined on the class level. All right, variables are basically defined for the class level. Those are called class variables. If I define something for the method, that's called a method variable, but that's a problem for later. Let's focus on only on the class variables in this today's topic. All right, let's read through what we have written here. Variables have to be declared with a data type. Now, what are data types? Okay, data types represent the kind of data that you want to store on the variable. Remember, I told Apex is a strongly typed language. It means if you declare a variable that is supposed to store a number, You cannot store a Boolean value to it or a text value to it. That is basically what it means by strongly typed. So variables have to be declared with the data type. What does that mean? If I have to declare a variable that's I, and I just say I and I say save, will it let me save it? Quickly check. So it's saying unexpected token semicolon. It's not able to understand what you have written here. The way you explain the system or the compiler that this is a variable, you have to tell them what kind of variable it is. So I tell the system, I want to declare or define a variable called I, and it should be of type integer. And when I do that and I save my file, it lets me save it and it understands that I is a variable. Okay? It's taking time to save, but that should be fine. Let's wait for it. So you see, this is successfully saved and we have been able to define a class variable that's called I and it is of type integer. Okay, so variables have to be declared with the data type. That is what the first line means. If I want to create another variable, let's say I want to create a Boolean variable. Boolean check if exists. Check if record exists, right? I can save it. This is another class variable I've defined and declared, right? So data types, what kind of data types that can you use? You see integer, Boolean, these are your data types. What are the data types you have? Decimal, string, Boolean, account, list, set, map, contact, object. So all the types of data that you have in your system in Salesforce, you can use that particular data type and create a variable out of it. Okay. So if you have to store date, you can create a date, today's date, right? If you want to store date time, you can create date time, current time, right? If you want to store a string, you will have to store string, my name. If you want to store an account record, you can say account record. Save. If I try to save these 5 or 6 variables I've created, let me try to save my file right now and let's see if we get any errors. We did not get any errors, it's fine, right? If I want to save, let's say a contact, con record. If I want to store a list of strings, I can my accepted values. I can create a list of string. If I want to create a set of IDs, I can create a set of IDs. So all and any and everything that's basically stored in your database and has a specific data type can be defined and created using a variable. Okay, and you can use these variables to in your methods. All right, if you had to do this for pasta, right, what would you do? You would say string, or let's say you would need milk, right, which is of type liquid, right? You would need a solid, that's your whole wheat pasta, right? You would need, let's say, semi-liquid, let's say cheese, right? So here, this is your variable name, right? And this is the type of the variable, correct? So data types can be primitive like date, integer, boolean, etc. And they can be advanced like list, set, map, object, and all of this stuff. So don't worry about the data types on the advanced side. We'll look at these in very deep dive, but understand that, the kind of data that you want to hold, you can create variables around it. As simple as that. You want to store a date value, create a date variable. You want to store a boolean value, create a boolean variable. You want to store a list of records, create a list variable. You want to store the entire object, create an object variable. Okay, did you notice when I defined all the variables, I used a semicolon, right? So every variable declaration needs a semicolon at the end. What does that tell the system? That this is one statement. Remember, semicolon is one statement. Whenever whichever line ends with a semicolon is treated as one single statement. So this line number 3 is a single statement that tells the system to create a space for a variable called I, and it will only store number values. It will only store integer values. Line number 4 tells the system create a variable called check if record exists, and it will only hold true or false because it's a Boolean type. Okay, so semicolon at the end is mandatory when declaring a variable. If you don't do that, you get a compiler error. I'll remove the semicolon. I'll try to save it. So when I try to save this, it will give me an error on line number 4. There's no semicolon, right? So it will try to compile, but it will fail. So you see, it says unexpected token date, unexpected token, check if record exists. So because you did not put a semicolon, it could not evaluate this one line. So it went to the next line and it's not able to understand what are these two lines together that they mean, which is why you need to segregate and separate your statements using semicolons. And that's how the system understands, okay, I need to execute this one line by initially and separately and understand what the statement is trying to mean. And now it saves up fine. Okay. Optionally, the next line, optionally, they can have the access modifier and the value assigned to them as well. So if you see, I'm able to declare my variables, right? Do you want to define what value it will store? You can do that as well. And if you want to put an access modifier, remember access modifiers we just learned, you can put an access modifier also. Okay. So if you want to say integer I equals 10 and you want to save it, this saves a fine, which means it is not mandatory to define what value it will hold, but you can optionally set a value. Okay, so it's optional, but it can be done. If you want to say, let's say check if record exists should always be evaluated as false when setting up the class. So you can keep it equal to false when you are defining it. You can declare and define both, and then you can change it in your methods when you are using it. You can move it to true. Okay, you can say the name here, right? You can define this as null. What is null? Null is basically an empty value, but you can say that, okay, account record is currently null. You can equate it to null value, but you can do a declaration and definition together, but setting up the exact value for a variable is optional. All right. Alongside this, you can also put a access modifier. So you see, I've set public as the access modifier for line number 3 and 5, meaning today's date and the integer variable will be public in nature, meaning accessible in the application within the namespace, and it's able to save it properly, right? Can I define a private variable? So my Boolean flag check if record exists equal to false, which is initialized as false, has been set to private, which is line number 4. Can I do it? Yes. What does this mean? This means that check if record exists variable will only be available for this particular class right here. You cannot use it from another classes. Okay, do you want to see a quick look? Let me just open a class and let's go to access modifiers. Okay, or yeah, that's okay. Let's go to access modifiers and don't worry about the method. Okay, I'm just trying to void check access for variables. I'm just creating a method. So what I want to do is I just want to access my variable. So I'll say my final count equals, I need to instantiate my class. Don't worry about instantiation right away. But what I'm essentially trying to do is just access my variable I, correct? So I'm just trying to access my variable I that belongs to another class, and I'm just trying to store it in a variable in this class. Okay, so I'll do two lines. First of all, for my final count variable value, let's say save. So it should, first of all, it should save without errors. That's the first thing. Okay, so it's saved, meaning I'm able to access the I variable that is defined as 10 in variable and keywords, and I'm able to set it to in my final count variable in access modifiers class. Okay, now I want to access my Boolean flag. Okay, similarly, I'll say Boolean check if rec exists equals new variable and keywords. This is my class name, and I want to access this variable, and I'll try to save. So you see, The variable is not visible. That's what the meaning of private is. This variable is only visible to this particular class and the scope of the class. You cannot access it outside. Okay. If I were to convert it to public or global, I will be able to access it. But if I do it global, my class should also be global. Correct? If I say public, this file will save up fine and then I will also be able to access it here. This error will also go away. So the first file, let's wait for it to save, and now let's try to save this file. See, the error has already gone away, but I'll try to save it. I should be able to access it now. So that's how the public, private, global access difference makes. Basically, you have to understand what kind of variables, what kind of methods need to be exposed outside, will be needed outside, accordingly define public, private, and public, private, and global to them. Okay, and that's how you are able to put an access modifier, which is again optional on your variables. Okay, so let's say the name is private to this particular class, so keep it private, no problem. But you need these three variables in different classes, so keep them public, no problem. All right, and you are not sure about these will be used or not, so it's okay. You don't have to define or give access modifier to every variable. It's not needed. Okay, typically when you're creating a class variable, the ones we are creating, they're typically kept at public because you might want to use them in different classes. That's a typical behavior. But if you are keeping them private, even that's okay. You are wanting to probably just use them for this particular class only, so that's okay. All right, so we talked a lot about variables. We talked about each variable, right? This is a variable, this is a variable, this is a variable. But if you notice, you see some color combination. You see public and class are of the color purple, variable and keywords is of black, integer, boolean, date time, string, let's say id are in blue. These colors are in blue. So there are certain keywords that the system needs to understand certain kind of things, right? How does the system know this is a date kind of a field? Because we are saying that, create a date kind of variable. So this particular word that we write, date, is a keyword and it is a reserved keyword. I cannot define a variable called integer. If I try to save it, it will fail because integer is a reserved keyword to understand what data type it is. Okay, so integer, boolean, date time, string, id, list, private, public, class, all of these are reserved keywords. Okay, null, it's also reserved keyword. So you cannot create something called public. It will give you an error. It will say that the identifier name is reserved, so you cannot use it for your variable name. Okay, you cannot do like null. Null cannot be a variable name. So there's a set of keywords that the system uses for understanding, for its own interpretation, which you are not allowed to use for your variable naming. Okay, so your names of variables should not be of should not be of keywords. So integer, new, system, list, a lot of reserved keywords are there. You can take a look at the documentation. But for now, you can just understand, okay, yeah, it's obvious, right? You cannot use these keywords because they mean a specific thing for the compiler and the interpreter. So you cannot use that same variable name in your value. Okay. So that was all about variables and keywords. Now what I want you to do is create some class variables on your own. So create a class called all my variables, similar to how I created a class here, variable and keywords. I want you to create a Boolean variable that is called is this correct? I want you to create an account object variable that's called my account record. And I want you to create a date variable with a static date value, meaning it should hold a date value and it should be called today's date. Okay. The first one should be public. The second one should also be public. And the third one should be private. The variables access should be public for the first two variables and the third one should be private. All right, try to create this class, create these variables, and then try to save your class. See if any errors come. If they don't come, just let me know. And if you're able to, if you face any issues, even let me know that. And if you're able to do it properly, comment any and everything that you're doing. Okay, but I'll encourage you to do it on your own. All right, perfect.